The latest from our daily newsletter at podnews.net. The founder of Google Podcasts, Zack Reneau-Wedeen, has left the company. He's now working on cryptocurrency for investment platform Robinhood, though we understand he hadn't been working on podcasts within the company for some time. Gabe Bender, Google Podcasts product lead, left in April. So who's driving Google Podcasts today? Steve McClendon, a former co-founder of 60dB, which Google bought in 2017, describes himself on Twitter as working on podcast stuff at Google, and the team is also working on a tech refresh of FeedBurner. So what did Zack achieve? Well, the Google Podcasts Android app hit 100 million downloads in April, and for July, Buzzsprout reports that it had hit 3% of all podcast plays, making Google Podcasts the world's third largest podcast app behind Apple and Spotify. Podcasts are also highlighted within the main Google search, and a Google Podcast link works on every single Android phone, since the player is actually built into the always-present Google app. And the same link also works on iOS and desktop as well. The mass-market Android phone from Google, the Pixel 5a, launched last week, and that appears to have Google Podcasts pre-installed in the app drawer. According to an unboxing video, it was also pre-installed in the flagship Pixel 5 when that phone launched last year. Google sold 7.2 million Pixel phones in 2019, up more than 50% year-on-year, but Samsung sold 295 million, and Apple sold a similar number. And pre-installed apps are mostly chosen by phone manufacturers and cellular operators. In other news, Amazon is reportedly building a Clubhouse, Twitter Spaces or Green Room clone focusing on live music. Backtracks has had its analytics numbers certified by the IAB Tech Lab. The BBC has attracted criticism for signing Cheryl, a pop singer most famous for girl band Girls Aloud, to front a BBC Sounds exclusive show about R&B. And in Paris, an event about radio and podcasts will take place on September the 11th. And in podcast news, Rabia Chowdhury has partnered with Cast Media to release Nighty Night, an anthology series featuring bedtime stories to keep you awake at night. The first 2 episodes launched next week, one original story and one from Edgar Allan Poe. Schwartz Media has launched Everybody Knows, an investigative series exploring the rise and fall of the Me Too movement in Australia and investigating serious allegations in the Australian music industry. It's hosted by Ruby Jones. Gimlet's Resistance returns for a second season, starting with a live show recorded at the Tribeca Festival earlier this summer, honouring lesser-known civil rights heroes. The podcast, hosted by Saidu Tejan Thomas Jr., brings a fresh perspective from those on the front lines of the ongoing fight for racial justice. And Up and Vanished returns with a new case following the disappearance of 20-year-old Ashley Loring Heavyrunner, a young Indigenous woman who went missing from the Blackfeet Nation Indian Reservation in 2017. The third season aims to shed light on the growing number of cases involving communities of colour that are too often overlooked, and the epidemic of violence against Indigenous women across the United States. And that's the latest from our newsletter. For all the links, we're at podnews.net.